What do these courses cost like at the undergrad and at postgrad level? And also, what are the other living expenses that students are expected to incur? So, just a broad ballpark figure in terms of the fee or the money that we should consider while looking at such an education.
So, thank you. When it comes to the undergrad qualifications, on an average, a student will need to shell out between 30 to 36,000 New Zealand dollars for a year, which is around 14 to 16 lakh rupees for a year for an undergrad qualification. For the postgrad and master's program, the average cost of investment would be around 20 to 23 lakh rupees for a 1 to 1.5 year master's program. When it comes to New Zealand dollars, it should be approximately around 44 to 51,000 New Zealand dollars overall. The living expenses in the country varies across the region because there is a city like Auckland, which is the largest commercial city in New Zealand, but not the capital. The capital of the country is Wellington. The Auckland is the most expensive one, so there the living expenses can go for a year between 8 to 9 lakh rupees for a 1 year course of study. Whereas when it comes to other cities in New Zealand, like could be Hamilton, Wellington, Christchurch, the living expenses could be between 7 to 8 lakh rupees for a year. The good thing for the students is they can work while they study. So while they are on the campus or while they are studying a qualification, either at an undergrad or at a postgrad level, New Zealand gives them an opportunity to work, and they can work for 20 hours in a week part time. And while they have their scheduled break, which is their trimester breaks or semester breaks, they can work full time as well. I think that's an added advantage for international students. One, it gives them the way to make that connect with the industry while they are studying. And also, it gives them an opportunity to become independent because they are able to take care of their own expenses as well.
And what are the kind of internship opportunities that students get? And do the universities facilitate this process for them, or they have to independently look for opportunities?
So most of the universities have career development cells and there are student support services teams. So each university works very closely with the international student community at campus. And all universities, most of the qualifications at the undergrad or at the postgrad level have an internship included into the programs. Okay. They could be paid or an unpaid internship, but students are provided a continuous support to ensure that they are able to find that internship in the industry, and that is provided through the student career support teams at each university. Apart from this, university also does career hubs. So there are career hubs where they invite people from the industry to talk to students, which also further gives them an opportunity to make that network with the industry bodies. And as and when they are ready to get into that internship stage, they are being provided to get to that internship opportunity.
Is there a possibility that these internships also get converted into full-time employment opportunities later? So, one, does the visa support allow students to work and stay back in the country after they graduate? And what is the employment scenario there for international students?
So, firstly, yes, the visa for international students is kind of very stable at the moment. Any student who pursues or pursued an undergraduate degree or a postgrad or a master's qualification from a university, they are eligible for a 3 year of an open post-study work visa, which means after finishing their qualification, they can work in the country for 3 full years and with no restrictions on a location. So they can pick up and choose an opportunity as per their career choice. And if they're really good, they could have a long term future as well. So definitely yes. The internship opportunities can be converted into full-time employment opportunities as well, but it's on a case-to-case basis. It all depends on how good student has been during their internship period. Most of these internships are generally of a timeline of 4 to 6 weeks, but some of these internships are even for 10 to 12 weeks as well. Now, depending on the duration of the internship and how a student has been able to showcase his or her skill set, definitely employers in New Zealand are very supportive. And if they find that the talent is unique and is adding value to their job role, they are definitely open to offer them the full-time employment opportunity as well. Now, New Zealand is a service-based economy. So, answering your question on employability, we have definitely seen some kind of employment challenges in last year or so. But that's because of the COVID crisis. But the economy has really bounced back well in last 6 months back again. And international students have a host of employment opportunities to choose in the country. They can go and work with the tourism sector back again. So the domestic tourism is has really picked up. So they can go and work with travel companies. They can go and work with hospitality sector. There are graduates who are doing the ICT qualifications. They can go and work with IT firms back in New Zealand as well. So New Zealand has a lot of startup IT firms, and there are good number of employment opportunities available to work with them. There are engineering firms as well because country is growing, infrastructure is evolving. So there is a phenomenal demand of engineers as well in the country. And we being a very solid agri-based economy, there's a phenomenal demand of employment opportunities with agri and dairy-based sector as well. Even the New Zealand's largest dairy firm, which is known as Fonterra, which is the world's third largest, hires a chunk of students from all the 8 universities as well.
And there's just this one question that almost every student asks, which is about scholarships. So, are there scholarship opportunities that students have access to, and what are they? If you could name a few.
Sure. So there are two kind of scholarships students can access to. One of them are university-specific scholarships. So all 8 universities have scholarships for international students. Like University of Waikato has an International Excellence Scholarship Award, which are value of $10,000. There is University of Auckland, which again has an international excellence scholarship of up to $5,000 to $10,000. There is Victoria University Wellington. They have a Tauranga International Excellence Scholarship. So all universities give an opportunity for international students to opt for scholarship. These are merit-based scholarships. Apart from this, there's a government body which is known as Education New Zealand, and they also have the scholarships for international students from India, which is called as the New Zealand Excellence Academic Awards. And if a student has a recipient of an offer from a university, they can apply for either of these two scholarships. Now, value of these scholarships vary from a university to a government funded one as well, but most of them are in the range of $3,000 to 10,000 New Zealand dollars at maximum.
And what is the criteria on which they offer this? Is it a merit scholarship or are they need based?
No, these are absolutely merit-based scholarships, Garima, which means that once a student has an offer in hand, and if they've really done well in the high school scores in India or in their undergraduate degree at their last qualification, based on their statement of purpose, highlighting their need and how they've evolved as an individual in their academic career, will determine whether the university or the education instrument as a body will be able to offer them a scholarship or no.
Right. And what is the application process like? Is there a unified portal or you individually apply to different universities?
So, So all 8 universities have their own individual application process. So there is no a unified portal as such because each university is an independent body of its own. So if a student is looking to apply to any of the New Zealand universities, they can always visit to the university website, and there's an apply now button which they can click in and fill in the individual application forms. Generally, New Zealand being at the southern hemisphere, our intakes are very different from other countries of the world. Our two popular intakes are always Feb and July. So, if a student is looking to start in a Feb as an academic year, they need to start a process somewhere in September, which is around 4 5 months as a back date. And if they are looking to start in July, then they need to start their process somewhere in Jan every year.
Just a last question, which is, if you were to share a piece of advice with students who are confused about making career choices, which country, what course, what would you tell them, where to begin and how to direct themselves?
I think if they are looking for an overseas or a higher education, they should they should first do their research. And for that, they can always come to study in New Zealand page as well, which is a government managed page wherein they could get a lot of first-hand information about New Zealand as a study destination. Plus, they also get a chance to read about the success stories of students from different parts of the world, how they have evolved in the country. And I think these are some two key basics. If students can do it at the start of research, then they can make a decision whether New Zealand will be that destination to them, which could add value to their long term career goal as well.
I think that makes absolute sense. So they know exactly where to go and start their research and make that decision. And I'm very hopeful that all the information that you've shared is going to be very helpful to them in making that choice. So I personally want to thank you so much. It's been a great learning experience for me to understand so much, to learn so much about New Zealand and the courses and the universities, and of course the timelines and the scholarships. So there's a whole new world that is there for students to explore, and I'm sure there's a good Indian community there as well, given that students are going year on year. So I think it's going to be a great destination for students to explore.
So thank you, Garima, for setting this up. I think it's been an interesting session, and I'm sure this is one of the first sessions for students to get a clue about what New Zealand is as a study destination. So thank you very much to organize this today, and hoping that we could do a New Zealand knowledge series as we run through in the near future. So thank you very much, and Kiora.